Okay guys, this is a video that's going to go through Nanoflo, which currently is in beta, I think version 0.1.2. Awesome little piece of software that allows you to simulate but also control your Arduinos with flowchart. So from the engineering perspective, it's a really handy process to be able to not have to code in depth but use the flowchart, which shows the conceptual understanding of what you're trying to achieve with the program without having to do the in detailed code. So once you've logged in, and you'll need to go through and get that from support or your teacher, this is what it looks like. So you can, if you've got it, you can see mine is plugged in over here. If you go in and select your device, this one is a Nano, and if it's reading it effectively, it's going to show you what serial port it's using. So in this case it's CH340 is the one that I've got, and the rest of it we're going to leave the same. So we're going to go OK. If you don't have anything connected, you can just hit escape and it brings you through to this page. So there are three main spots at the top here. So if we go to home and see, we can take a screenshot, we can save what we've done, which is a fairly important process if you want to come back to look at it, and you can reload an old piece of software that you've saved. Now just be aware that there's a few little things that are still being developed at this point. It's probably going to continue to get better as more and more feedback and it gets out of that beta version. But from there we can save or load as we go, or you can clear your whole flowchart to start again. The other thing that I'm going to show you briefly is the emulator to start off with. So from here, that selected device is what came up first. So we've got that all set up, that's fine. We can then actually connect up to our device. And so it's going to take a minute or 30 seconds, depending on which piece you're using. But you can see now he's connected. Now the key thing that you can see when you're connected is your analog pins down here, which on my machine are on these ones over here. We're bouncing around a little bit. So what's really a quick, easy way to see that it's functioning is pin 13. We can click on and you can see that the inbuilt LED is turned on. Now what I've set up here is a really simple little circuit. So if we have a look at what I've got there, I've got my Arduino with D2 connected to a switch, which then goes through with 5 volt on one side, and then the other side is going D2 and a 10k resistor to ground. So I've got a pull down resistor set up for that switch, and then I've got on D3 an LED just going through to ground as well. So the other thing I can do is if I pull this back through, you can see I've got that set up there, is if I just press I've got D3, you can see he's turned on. Now for me to be able to use this button, I need to be able to change that from an output to an input. So we have a bunch of different options that we can do for that. Okay, so I'm going to change that to the input, and now when I press that, he goes through. So that's our stage 1 of this. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this one here is I'm going to change from D2 as my input. I'm going to change this over to A0. And this is going to show really quickly why we set up the pull down resistor in this case. So if we have a look, what I've got here is when I press it, it goes high. Let go, it goes nice solid low. If I get rid of that resistor out of there, he fluctuates around because of all the excess circuit, electricity in the circuit, and is not being grounded. So when I press it, it still goes high, but it fluctuates and we get not a clear reading. So that resistor, whether in a tie down or a pull up, is a really, really important piece. So have a look at that, because the next video we're going to go through and have a look at some coding with the flowchart in this as well.